Everybody went through TNA. Even CM Punk was there for a while, which is crazy. He arrived with Mickey James too. It just became somewhere to try and make a name for yourself, even though it was quite hit and miss. So let us make sure your brain is up to date with all of this now, because I am Simon Miller. Here are 10 people you totally forgot worked for Total Non-Stop Action. Number 10, A1. No, he is not a position on the map. A1 did enjoy breaking TNA records, though, because he worked for the promotion between 2004 and 2007 when he went missing for 11 years. That's right, he waited a good old decade before he came back. I think the biggest surprise is that TNA was still going at that point, but that's why they rule. They became the little engine that could. A1 did have a pivotal role too, because he was part of Team Canada, who were very important when TNA first came to be. Bobby Roode and Eric Young used that to get where they are today, and amazingly, they were number 2 and 3 in the group for a while. A1 was the guy. It's why he got kicked out of the stable to try and push him as a singles, but sadly it didn't work. He left in February 2007, and this really is a what could have been. Very upsettingly, we shall now never know. Number 9, Chris Melendez. Look at this picture. That is Chris Melendez with Ken Anderson and Bully Ray. This wasn't by fluke. The two veterans were so impressed with Chris, they wanted to help him succeed. It was due to the fact Melendez had a great work ethic, plus was an army man. That's instant respect, and hey, TNA needed new stars at this time. Why not this guy? Chris even had a prosthetic leg due to his service, so you'd think this would have been a home run, but for some reason it didn't click. When you do watch it today, it kind of feels like TNA is trying too hard. Saying that, he only worked 22 matches from 2014 to 2016, and while he appeared on a Troop special in 2019, that was about it. I suppose if we are going to break it down like D-Generation X, it just wasn't meant to be. Number 8, Relic. Yes, that is Killer backwards. The name sums it up. Look at this mask on the screen right now too. I'm not sure whether I'm meant to be scared or go get a whip ready, and under the mask was the one and only Johnny Stamboli. He was doing a red rum gimmick on the indie scene, which is murder backwards, so of course TNA brought him in and tinkered with it. This was 2007 and he teamed with Black Rain for a while, which was Dustin Rhodes. When we get to May, and he was gone, that was quite strange. Something must have happened because Johnny retired from wrestling in 2009, and then when he came back in 2010, he was Red Rum again. The hell is happening? The fact this was meant to be a spooky wookie character, and yet we couldn't even get the basic right, sort of sums it up. And I tell you, even talking about it in 2024, it's all kinds of confusing. Number 7, Jesse Neal. Part rocker, part military man, Jesse was over at first due to his service record. You know the deal with wrestling fans, though. When that became commonplace, we needed more. Neil did listen, which is when he adopted the punk look you can see right now, and even formed a team called Ink Inc. with Shannon Moore. And yes, that's INKINC, which I'm going to categorize under the most wrestling thing ever. These two were okay together as well, but I just don't think people cared. I don't mean that in a bad way either. We didn't give anybody a reason to in the first place. I mean, good matches aren't enough. A little bit try hard. 2011 was Jesse's last year, and I'm not sure these two companies, or these two entities I should say, ever chatted again. Number 6, Anakia. And I'm probably not pronouncing that right. I did watch some videos and it gets pronounced in at least 3 different ways. Talk about TNA being summed up in one teeny package. This was a group in Total Non-Stop Action though, and look closer. That's the future WWE Zelina Vega, and she's also with Sarita and Hernandez. So yeah, this was a stable that was meant to be the best of Mexico in America. The last part of the puzzle was Anakia, and he was the bodyguard for Hernandez. Yes, that's bizarre. Have you seen Hernandez? He does not need any protection. TNA soon realized that, so made them a tag team instead, and they lasted 1 year. Then Anakia was gone. Obviously the rest of them did okay, but I don't know, man. I guess we'll just put this one down to wrong place at the wrong time. Maybe. Number 5, Dakota Darso. That is right, trust your brain. This is the son of the one and only Barry Darso, aka Repo Man. It is gonna be a good day. Due to the connection, WWE tried him out in 2009, but that didn't work out. But you know the deal. A few years later, he was in TNA. Fair play to Darso as he went through the gut check route, so he was trying to earn his contract, although he didn't make it. Zema Ion won, and today you will know him as Joaquin Wilde. For whatever reason, TNA did give him another go, but my gosh, it did not last long. In 2012, Dakota had his final match against Ion, and he got defeated in 3 minutes. I don't know about you, but I don't think that's the best sign. I did some looking, and Darso's last match was in 2018, so if I was going to hazard a guess, I think he's been retired ever since. Number 4, Mad Mikey. I mean, he was Mike, and he was mad. That was the deal here. There was extra, though, as this was indeed the former Crash Holly who had a great run in WWE. His stuff with the hardcore title was awesome, and these days very nostalgic. I really think with more thought, Crash should have kept on going, but after this stuff was done, WWE didn't know what to do with him. So in 2003, he was let go. TNA rightfully made a move in July, which is when he became Mad Mikey. I suppose they wanted to recreate that wild spirit he had before. I would assume there must have been issues because Mikey didn't last all that long, when very sadly, shortly afterwards, he passed away way too soon. I mean, he was only 32 years old. Number 3, Antonio Banks. From 2003 to 2004, this was indeed the future MVP, but in TNA clothing. He worked 4 matches before WWE picked him up in 2006. From there, he never really looked back. He did lose to Eric Watts on Implosion during his debut and, well, continued to be defeated from there. One Monty Brown even got the better of him on the main show, and once America's Most Wanted wrecked him, I think Banks decided there was nothing for him, so he left. The fact that WWE picked him up so fast sort of sums it up. Look, let's face it, he went on to have quite the career after this, and as I am talking to you, he's about to embark on his last run. MVP went and did alright. Number 2, Judas Menes. Soon to be way bigger in MLW and Lucha Underground, most of the time in TNA, Judas Menes ran after Abyss. They were both scary-ish guys. They must fight. He was also part of the James Mitchell group, who were all spooky wooky. Look at those eyes. I can't say for sure, but I do think they're contacts. In storyline 2, Judas was meant to be Abyss's brother, so yeah. We just looked at Kane and The Undertaker and decided to copy it. And I'll be honest with you, my friends, TNA did that a lot. This only lasted about 12 months before it got scrapped, but that's a good thing. If we had carried on this timeline and compared it to WWE, soon Judas would have been committing necrophilia. I do not need that in my life for a second time. The idea was that he would just get beaten by Abyss, so as soon as that was wrapped up, he was done. We didn't have any more stories for him, so onwards he went. Number 1, Murphy. One half of this team that you can see on the screen right now would be Jackson Riker from WWE. The less said about that, the better, and for a time he was Gunner in TNA. That is how most people know him. As for his tag team partner though, that is Murphy. This was 2010 and Hulk Hogan must have liked them because he even put them in his Immortal stable. But yeah, even then they were never really allowed to do much of anything. TNA soon got behind Gunner, but in the process I think they forgot about Murphy, because he really didn't have much to do. He did hang around for most of 2011, but honestly was barely used, and soon afterwards, here we go again, he was let go. So really getting involved with Hogan made his run even worse. I will leave that with you. Know of any other familiar faces that came from TNA that people may not remember these days? Make sure you let us know in the comments below before you like the video, share the video, and subscribe. And you see that flashing thing on the screen right now? It's another video, so why don't you click it? Otherwise, thank you for your time, my friends. I really do appreciate it, and I look forward to talking to you again very, very soon.